Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Mercury retrograde reading for you. Now, this Mercury retrograde is going to be from February 17th to March 10th, and it is a time where things can feel really topsy-turvy. So I want to see and have Spirit tell us what to expect from this time period for you. Now, if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. So let's dive right in now, Libra, and see how this Mercury retrograde is going to affect you. How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. So we have here self-mastery, and then visualization. Oh, I love that. And we have also here the chakras that are really, well, it's one chakra, the throat chakra, that is really affected by the retrograde. We have communication and we have listening really coming into play. So those are going to be the two things that are so important during this retrograde: to communicate well with others, to embrace communication, and also to listen to yourself, to listen to others, and make sure that things are actually being heard, because there's going to be a lot of assumptions that are made during this time. How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. The Sandpiper, be happy. Oh, I like that. Saying here, remember to be happy. Okay, don't let yourself get so serious. Don't take this all personally, or, sit there and, just kind of go at things too headstrong, because you have to remember yourself, and you have to remember to smile during this time, and to be happy, and to embrace what you truly want. How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020. How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, February 17th to March 10th, 2020? Show me clearly, 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 show me clearly. Oh, fantastic. Okay. So we have the Tower at the center of everything. Yeah, which is, I'm not surprised. All right. Here it's important that you take time for yourself. 5 of Cups. Yeah. Knight of Coins, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. 8 of Clubs, the Hierophant, Taurian energy, time frame April 20th to May 20th. 4 of Cups, you have the 8 of Wands, 4 of Cups, 8 of Cups, repeat of the number 8. You're going to be taking this time very seriously. You have, the 10 of Coins, which is fantastic, but then you have the Devil card, which is like, it's feeling frustrated. It is. And then you have the 10 of Clubs, carrying a tremendous burden upon your shoulders. You have the repeat of the number 10 here, which is really talking about a completion of a cycle. So you are going to find that once you are out of this retrograde, you've really completed a cycle. And this is not going to be nothing that is thrown at you during this time is going to be something that you cannot handle. You have the repeat of the number 5. You're going to be very much in need of freedom, independence, kind of, if you can kind of be your own boss. And it's not saying that you will be able to, but really make decisions for yourself and not be kind of following anybody or anything like that. That's going to be really important for you during this time. Spirit is saying here that your independence, your freedom, but the repeat also of the number 5 means that things will be resolved, and they will be resolved quickly. So the impact of this time frame, the impact of this retrograde isn't going to be forever, of course, because we do get out of it, but it's also going to be a whole bunch of little things that add up instead of, one big thing that just sits there and you're like, oh my gosh. But at the heart of this retrograde, and you might be feeling it even now, because the lingering effects can start. You can start early and it can linger. But this is also a retrograde that starts in Pisces. So this Mercury retrograde starts in Pisces, and there is really a sense of emotional vulnerability that I'm seeing here for you. And it can be that really things are just turned on their head during this time, but also Spirit is using this time for you, Libra, to make you question things, to make you see things, differently, to push you out of your comfort zone, to really make you look at things and say, is this what I want? Is this what I need? Where am I heading? What am I doing? And this can be very, very, very impactful. Very impactful, this retrograde. Looking at things differently, big decisions made at this time. I would highly recommend, and Spirit is saying, if you cannot make any big decisions during this time, like anything really permanent, that would be best, because things tend to get muddled. That's why we have communication and listening up here, where, things get muddled. And I'm not sure if I even did this. You see, this is the type of thing that's going to be happening in this Mercury retrograde. You're not going to know, like, did I talk about these cards? Didn't I talk about these cards? Did I just dive into the reading, And you're going to have to look at things, and you're going to have to keep really a good eye on the way that you want to move forward, because now I know, no, I didn't talk about everything that has come up, and I will for you, but know that this is going to be a time that's astoundingly intense for you. Why? Communication and the emotions of others is very important to you, Libra. You're an air sign energy, okay? Yeah. So when I just addressed the clutter and like the chaos that I was feeling within my mind, and the way that I needed to pause, listen to Spirit, and before I could, go on with the readings, that with your reading, that is what I'm seeing here for you. It's like you're going to need to pause. You're going to need to take a breath, take time, connect with yourself, connect with what you want, and then move forward. Because communication, and it's also going to be an intuitive communication for you, is going to be really important, even though that can be a little bit more messy, because you are going to have things here that happen where you're sitting there and you're like, well, I felt like that person was totally fine, and it's going to be that they weren't, or they totally misconstrued you, or something to that effect. So here, just know that the way that you feel towards a person, your emotional connection with them, is going to be very important to you, but to them, they might not be seeing things the exact same way. So you might have to use your words. You are going to have to use your words a bit more, even though for you, that's not really going to feel necessary. For them, it is going to be necessary. And then we move into listening, being able to listen to your heart, your soul, yourself, what you want, the way you want to move forward, but also know that when people are listening to you during this time, because communication is so jumbled in a Mercury retrograde, they're going to be hearing something completely different than what you are saying. So know that you can have moments of miscommunication that can be really upsetting to you, but it's not going to be through your fault. It's just going to be what happens during this time. And as you embrace this, there's a sense of self-mastery that comes. There's a sense of you really being on top of your game. You know what it is that you want. You know what it is that you desire. You have here, a listening to your gut reaction to things with the solar plexus chakra coming forward, where your gut reaction is going to be something that you should really listen to during this time, because talking, communicating, reading about things can get really jumbled in this Mercury retrograde. But if you go with your gut reaction, if you go with your gut feel, it might feel like you're being a bit impetuous, which is something that you try not to be, but it's actually going to wind up working the best for you, healing and cleansing your solar plexus chakra would be very beneficial to you. Also, if you could do a daily throat chakra cleanse, you see, things get muddled. That would be highly beneficial for you, highly beneficial as you are moving forward, because it's going to keep your wavelength, the energy around you for communication, open and powerful. And then we move towards visualization, visualizing what you want, seeing it within your mind's eye, and really working towards that goal. Third eye chakra, opening up, but also healing, cleansing, embracing that third eye chakra and the power of what you want, what you desire to move you forward. That leads you to, as I said before, you really need to embrace play, because you have the repeat of the number 8 in a line with the Tower and the 10 of clubs. If you don't embrace play, if you are all work, all serious all the time, you're going to feel drained, overwhelmed. You're going to come out of this retrograde tired, okay, downtrodden, anxious, a little bit depressed. You could very well, sit there and be like, wow, I just feel overburdened, overwhelmed, and not like myself at all. So if you take time, self-care, oh my gosh, Libra, self-care for you is going to be key. All right, just taking time to do things that you love. Okay, you might not have the time, you might have work or school or kids or a myriad of responsibilities. So self-care, you can't really just spend the day at the spa or anything like that. But if you could, if you could schedule an appointment during this retrograde, that would be amazing. If you could, just take time, at night to have a nighttime routine before you go to sleep, just to calm you down and center you. If you could do that in the morning too, I know mornings are crazy, but if you could do things like that, that would be brilliant for you. That would be beautiful for you. And be playful, be happy, be playful, embrace a lot of bit of joy. Actually try to embrace all the joy, and then what you can catch and what you can hold on to is going to be the best thing for you ever. So here with the Sandpiper spirit, just being playful, being happy, embracing what you love, and you love taking care of yourself. You love the touch, the feel of things. Okay, you love love. So just being around people that you love is going to be highly beneficial for you. And embracing what you love, the little things that give you joy, because you are going to be going through this tower time for this retrograde. And it's intense. It is absolutely intense, but it's also a tremendous change. So when you see a tower time, it's like, oh my gosh, no, not the tower, Dane, any card, but the tower. But with this tower time, you are going to see that you're actually freed from the chains of the past. The devil is a Capricorn energy. It can be a Capricorn within your life, most definitely. Now, this is a time frame of December 22nd to January 19th. If you're cross-watching and you're a Capricorn, don't think that you have to be this person for the Libra. This is simply a message that Libra has to hear. So here, with things falling apart, it can be because you thought, okay, things have to move a very certain way. A equals B equals C, step by step by step. But here, it's saying be more playful with things. Be more joyous with the way that you're moving forward. It might seem like chaos to you, but actually things that seem structured are going to become more chaotic. Then things that seem chaotic can wind up being more structured. So it's kind of like opposite day, but the whole Mercury retrograde is kind of like opposite time. So here, embrace what you love, embrace what you want, embrace the fact that you need to move forward and find yourself not being chained. Now, this can also be addictions coming up. Right now, it can be the addictions of drugs and sex and alcohol and food and shopping, things like that. But it can also be perfection. It can also be self-doubt. It can also be anxiety. It can also be a myriad of things, procrastination, things that we are addicted to that we might not even know or think of as addictions. So just be mindful of this during this time. Be mindful of also somebody who's trying to control you in a way where, you fall into old patterns, old habits, and you lose your voice, you lose yourself. Okay? And it's going to be somebody who's going to be very kind of dictatorial, like it has to be like this, it has to be like that, kind of tyrannical actually here. And then here we have the Five of Cups. Now, with the Five of Cups, I see this as change your mind, change your life. You're looking at the cups that are spilt, and they're on the ground, they're on, they're soaking into the earth, and you can't get that liquid back. You just can't. But you have two cups that stand. But you're looking at the one that fell, the three that fell, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a travesty. I'm never going to be able to move forward the way that I want to. Everything is always going to be wrong. I'm such a klutz. You're really going to be hard on yourself, and it's emotionally hard on yourself. You're being told here, look at the two cups that stand, because that is the Two of Cups. That's the minor arcana Lover's card. And as you embrace the love, the joy, the prosperity, the happiness that you want in your life, there's the Ten of Coins. This is prosperity that lasts for generations. This is bounty. This is beauty. This is abundance coming in, moving you forward. This is you embracing what you truly desire. And this is you looking at your wealth. And as you look at your wealth, you defend it slowly and steadily. Yes, things fall apart, but with the Tower card, it's not a bad card. I know people get upset, but it's saying that tremendous change comes in. And it's like that mama bird that pushes the baby bird from their nest. It's time to fly, and that's what divinity is doing for you, handing you a gift that you're not really going to see or maybe even think is a gift at this time. But once you come out of this Tower period, you see the prosperity. You see yourself more in line with what you want, what you desire, and why you're on this earthly plane, which is why we have the Hierophant right here. And the Hierophant, of course, is a Taurian energy, time frame April 20th to May 20th. But you have the seraphim. I believe this is the seraphim around you. They kind of look like little blue jays or sparrows, or not sparrows, swallows right here. Whatever bird you would like that to be. But I believe they are the seraphim or the cherubim. I cannot remember which one. And you have it protecting the Pope. Because in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Hierophant is the Pope, the King of Kings. In medieval times, the Pope could tell kings what to do. All right? So here you have this power to you. You have this force to you. And know the power that you have with having the Hierophant at your roots, because I'm being reminded by Spirit that it was the Pope that decided to start the Crusades, all right, back in medieval times. So in the Crusades for the Holy Land, it was the Pope that said, listen, Europe, you're tearing yourselves apart. I'm going to get no money out of any of you. Yes, we can be cynical about this, but go and be, go and conquer Jerusalem, go and conquer the Holy Land, and unite over one thing. And so here, you're going to be kind of a uniting factor for things here, Libra. You really are. And I know that sounds odd, not so much as go on crusade type of thing, but you're going to be able to speak to people and get them to understand. But it's going to lead to be a very heavy burden on your shoulders. So be very mindful of who you're aligning yourself with during this time, and how much they're paying attention to what you're saying, because there is somebody who's going to take things just a bit too far. They're going to look at you and look at what you're saying, look at what you're doing, and be like, oh my gosh, I'm totally behind this. I absolutely share your vision. They're going to really think that they do share your vision, but it's going to be off, and they're going to take this a little bit too far. It can be a Taurus energy. I'm not really seeing it as a Taurus energy, but it's somebody who's linked. It's somebody linked right here who will do it kind of all at once and be like, wow, look what I did. And you're going to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, kind of like a little kid who cuts their hair and says, oh, look, I gave myself a haircut. And you're like, oh my gosh. So know that here, that it's going to be something can happen that they think that they're doing the right thing for you, or they think that they're helping you out. And it's not a help, it's a hindrance. So just be mindful of that. And it's somebody who's usually, it can be a Taurian energy. It's somebody who's usually very grounded, very centered, earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, because we have the Capricorn, we have the Taurus here. It could be Virgo too, but it's somebody who's very grounded, very centered, usually very logical about things, but they've just kind of taken it a step too far. They don't even have to be an earth sign energy. It's just that feeling around here that I'm getting where, and then it becomes more burdens than you want to handle, and you're looking at things. So be very mindful with your words during this time, and the way you want people to help you out, the way you want people to understand you, okay? Because the way they do and the way you want them to can kind of get lost in translation, even though you're speaking the same language. Then we have the Four of Cups, a gift that you're being given that you're not really seeing right now. And I really do feel like this is around this tower energy, the falling tower. It's kind of like things are falling, things are changing, things are chaotic, things are a lot. And so you're not going to see the blessing that Spirit is giving you, the best blessing that divinity is giving you. But once you do, and once you start to come to the end of this retrograde, of this Mercury retrograde, you're going to start to see the Aquarius energy around it, the healing, the beauty, the fact that, Mercury retrogrades, they get a really bad rap, right? Because they're really intense and they put everything that's really important to us in chaos. But it also is telling us, slow down, focus on our words, focus on the way that we communicate with people, focus on what we really want to communicate with people. And then you start to see that. And as you start to do this, and that's where the visualization comes in with self-mastery, as you listen to what you truly want and you communicate not only intuitively, but, personally with people, not only personally, but intuitively with people. That should be it. You start to see the beauty and you start to be more playful with your interactions, with the way you connect with people, which is going to be something that people really, really, really appreciate during this time, because everybody's taking everything so seriously, and you have a really strong here pull towards taking things too seriously. So be very, very mindful of that. So here you're getting a gift, and once you start to see it, and it's going to be towards the end of this retrograde, you will start to see things moving forward really, really quickly. It will feel like all of a sudden you're able to put down those burdens. It's kind of like, enough is enough. I'm done. It's over. And you break free of the chains. And it's like, I'm setting myself free. I'm not following what everybody else wants. Because remember, before the devil looked like this used to be what, well, maybe, without the wings, maybe with, this used to be what earth gods look like. So here it was taking something that was about the earth, was about connecting with nature and, what nourishes us, and making it into something evil. So it can also be during this time, be very mindful of your relationship with food. Be be very mindful of your relationship with drinks, okay? What nourishes you there can be some anxiety over it. Like if you're on a diet or something like that, you're going to take the diet to the extreme, okay? Or if you have a drink to calm down, you might take that drink to the extreme. So just be mindful of this. Spirit is really saying this for you guys. So it's also mindful for everybody to just everybody in the world, just to be mindful of this, not to take anything to the extreme, because it's going to be really easy. You're walking away from what you once thought you would love. It's kind of like, no. I'm relooking at things, and I'm following what I want. I'm following what I love. I really see the moon watching over you and the stars guiding you. It's kind of like you're looking at your North Star, and everything that you had once thought, okay, this is it, this is written in stone, you're looking at things and saying, no, there's more flexibility to life. There's more beauty to life. And that's why Spirit is saying, don't take things too seriously, because you're moving towards, with the Knight of Coins, again, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you're moving slowly and steadily towards where you want to be, towards what you desire. And as you do so, it's a prosperity that lasts. It's not something that's kind of like fly by night. It's a prosperity that lasts. And as it lasts, you start to see yourself more sure, more confident, more in tune with what you truly want and where you're truly headed. Your subconscious message for this whole entire reading is the Hangman. You're seeing everything really, really differently because of this retrograde. And as you see things differently, you are more empowered in your truth. You're more empowered with yourself. And don't sit there. Oh, I love that. I love that phoenix right on top. Don't sit there and think, oh my gosh, I'm wrong. Because the fruits of your labor are coming. And here, it's a spiritual awakening as well as a personal awakening. So this retrograde is going to be very beneficial for you on many different levels, even though at times it just doesn't seem that way. It just seems like, wow, this is one big pain in the tush. It's not. It's going to be something that you're looking at and you're like, oh, okay, now I see it clearly now. This retrograde puts into perspective what is really and truly important for you. And as it does, your subconscious spirit animal is the swan. It says time for a deep dive. It's time to dive deeper into what you want, into what you desire, because this retrograde really makes you look at things more closely, more deeply, and as you're looking at things deeply, you're finding that power, you're finding that truth. And your subconscious chakra message is forgiveness with the heart chakra, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and moving forward and saying, you know what, the past doesn't have that power over me that it once did. Healing and cleansing your heart chakra would be highly beneficial, but also relieving yourself of guilt and saying, I did the best that I could at the moment I was in, and now it's time to move forward. All right, Libra, I know this is intense. I wish you a peaceful and harmonious retrograde. All right, that everything goes smoothly, and forewarned is forearmed, so you're able to handle everything brilliantly. And again, I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you, and I love you all. Bye.